Today I'm showing you how to make sourdough cinnamon swirl bread. Warm cinnamon sugar filling is swirled throughout a lightly sweetened sourdough bread dough, creating a bread that everyone loves. Sometimes when people make this type of bread, they get an air gap in between the cinnamon swirl and the top of the bread. In this recipe, I'll show you how to avoid that problem. Here's how to make it. We're going to start by making a lightly enriched basic sourdough sandwich bread dough. Start with 200 grams of water and then 50 grams of whole milk. That's going to provide a little bit of softness to the dough. After the milk, we're going to add 10 grams of plain white sugar. That's going to, of course, add a little bit of sweetness to the dough, just a touch, but that sugar will also hold on to moisture and improve the keeping quality of the bread. Next, add 10 grams of salt. I'm using kosher salt, but table salt or sea salt will work fine. And then take 2 tablespoons of butter, melt them, and pour that into your liquid ingredients. It should end up being around 26 grams of melted butter. Next, get out your active and risen sourdough starter. The night before, I took 25 grams of starter out of the fridge, fed it 50 grams of water and 50 grams of bread flour, and I let it rise on the counter for 6 to 8 hours until it was doubled in size and ready to use. So for your dough, add 100 grams of active and risen sourdough starter to the mixing bowl, and then just put any starter that's left over back into the fridge. Stir the ingredients together to combine, and then add 450 grams of bread flour to the mixing bowl. I'm using the blue bag of King Arthur bread flour. Now you can mix the dough up and knead it by hand for 8 to 10 minutes, or you can use a stand mixer like I'm doing, and just start it on low speed with the stand mixer using the dough hook attachment, and just keep kneading it for about 1 to 2 minutes until the dough comes together. Then increase the stand mixer to the second speed, and then continue kneading until the dough has been kneaded for a total of 8 minutes. Throughout this kneading process, the dough will start to strengthen and it'll pull off of the sides of the bowl, and your dough will be fully kneaded. To prepare the dough for the first rise or bulk fermentation, remove it from the mixing bowl and then just gently shape the dough into a ball on your countertop. Once your dough has been balled up, grab a glass or plastic container that you want your dough to rise in. I like to use these 7-cup glass bowls from Pyrex so I can see how much the dough is rising through the sides of the bowl. Grease your bowl with a little bit of butter or oil if you'd like to have an extra nonstick barrier in the bowl, and then transfer the dough into the bowl, tap down the top just to flatten the dough, and then place the lid on and move the bowl to an area of your counter where it can rise for 4 to 6 hours at room temperature. During the bulk fermentation stage, your dough should double in size like this. Once your dough is doubled in size, you can move on to the filling and shaping step of the process. So while your dough is still rising, get started making your cinnamon sugar paste. A lot of cinnamon swirl breads end up separating near the top of the loaf, right where the cinnamon is swirled into the dough. We can avoid this separation problem by making a paste with a secret ingredient that I'll show you in a second. Start with 75 grams of light brown sugar, and then add 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, which is about 4 to 5 grams. And now the secret ingredient. You want 3 tablespoons or about 30 grams of bread flour. Adding a starch component like bread flour to your cinnamon and sugar will end up making a paste that binds itself to the bread and keeps the bread from separating. If you try to treat your cinnamon swirl bread just like you would a cinnamon roll, the sugar and butter is going to steam up in the oven and it's going to cause a big separation or a big air gap in the bread. There are a few ways you can avoid that. What we're doing in this recipe is making a brown sugar and cinnamon paste because it works really well. Stir your cinnamon, brown sugar, and flour together to work out as many clumps as you can. And then to officially make this a paste, add 30 grams of whole milk and then stir the ingredients together to combine. Once you've got a thick but spreadable cinnamon sugar paste that looks something like this, you're ready to fill and then roll your bread. Get out a standard 1-pound loaf pan. This is a non-stick loaf pan that I love to use. You don't need to use any butter or oil on it at all if you don't want to. I'll include a link down in the description where you can get your own. Then uncover your risen sourdough bread dough, top it with a little bit of flour just to create a non-stick barrier, and then gently loosen the dough from the sides of the bowl and transfer the dough onto your kitchen counter with the floured side down and the sticky side facing up. Now I'm not going to use a rolling pin to flatten out the dough, but I will be using my fingertips to flatten the dough into a rectangle. So flatten your dough so that it ends up about the same width as your bread pan and twice as long. Once your dough looks something like this, you're ready to add the cinnamon and sugar. Using a spatula, place 3 or 4 dollops of the cinnamon sugar paste on top of the dough, and then using the back of a metal spoon, spread out the cinnamon sugar paste all over the dough in an even layer. Spread the cinnamon sugar paste as thinly as you can, leaving about an inch of dough uncovered by the paste so that the dough can stick into itself when you roll it up. Now, to roll up the dough into a loaf shape, start with the end of the dough that's just as wide as your bread pan. Gently ease that edge of the dough off of the counter, and then roll the dough into a very tight cylinder with the seam underneath. Then I like to smooth out the edges of the dough, just tuck the dough under the whole loaf, and that will keep the cinnamon sugar from oozing out of the sides of the loaf as the bread bakes. Carefully transfer the dough inside the bread pan with the seam side facing down, then give the dough a few shakes and shimmies just to settle it into its place. And now your loaf is ready for the second rise. Cover the bread pan up with a kitchen towel and let the dough rise at room temperature for 2 to 3 hours, or until it roughly doubles in size and reaches the top of the pan. Then a half hour before your bread is done proofing, preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep the center rack of your oven open for your bread pan, and then on the lower rack, put a metal pan that you'll use as a steam tray. About 2.5 hours later, my dough was done proofing and it had reached the top of the pan. It was nice and puffy and ready to bake. To give this bread a shiny golden brown top, get out 1 egg, whisk it with a fork, and then brush the egg wash on top of the dough using a pastry brush. This egg wash will give the bread a nice golden brown top as it bakes in the oven. Speaking of baking, transfer your bread pan into the center rack of your oven, and then add about a cup of hot or boiling water into that metal tray on the bottom rack of the oven. That will release steam during the first half of the bake time, giving the bread a bakery quality crust. Now close your oven and bake the bread for an initial 20 minutes at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. After 20 minutes, remove the steam tray from the oven, you don't need it anymore, and keep baking the bread for another 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, and your bread should be golden brown and ready to pull out of the oven. Give the pan a few taps to release the bread from the pan, and then tip the loaf right out of the pan. The bread is hot at this point and still a little bit steamy on the inside, so let it rest on a cooling rack for at least an hour before slicing in. This is a fantastic sliceable sandwich bread which has a fun swirl on the inside. And as a side note, you could probably throw raisins or nuts in with the cinnamon swirl paste, but that's just an idea for next time. This bread has a soft and fluffy interior with a distinctive cinnamon sugar swirl throughout the middle, and because we used a paste that included some flour, we don't have that separation on top that you might have if you've made other recipes. The cinnamon sugar filling smells warm, aromatic, and a little bit cozy. And the flavor of this bread is absolutely delicious. It's not near as rich as if you were eating a cinnamon roll, but this bread really packs in the lightly sweet cinnamon sugar flavor, so it's a great special treat kind of sandwich bread. There you see the paste in the middle that's sticking to the bread and holding together well. Texture-wise, this bread is soft and fluffy and light. It doesn't have a really hard crust like other sourdough breads do. Besides the cinnamon sugar filling, the bread itself is lightly tangy and flavorful. I highly recommend you give this one a try, and I'll see you in the next video.